Oh my God, hi. How's it going, guys? It has been a hot minute since I have made a video. I have two vlogs actually that I have fully filmed and not edited that have been sitting on my desktop for a month or two, and they may never see the light of day, but I took the summer off. I feel like the burnout is dissipating. I feel like I have so much to catch you guys up on, but today's video is about the fact that it's October. I am thawing. I am coming back to life. I am feeling some creativity in my bones again, which is incredible. And I figured we would reintroduce me to BookTube by doing a month-long readathon in TBR Harvest. If you don't follow Leandra the TBR Zero, you totally should. She has the best spirit. She's so effervescent, and I love her energy. And she DM'd me in August and was like, hey, would you like to be a part of BookTuber Bingo? And I said, oh my God, that sounds phenomenal. I loved TBR Harvest last year. So I submitted a video to be one of the prompts. And as I was trying to decide which of the game boards to do, I decided that TBR Bingo would probably be best for me and my mood readerness, even though there is a whole game board for being a mood reader. But I also thought it would be a fun way to challenge myself in a way where I couldn't wholly manipulate the board. So I chose bingo card number 8, which looks like this. And so far, because not all of the prompts are released, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that how you count? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. I have 9 spots that have already been filled with questions. Now, whether or not I do them counts is when, I'll actually fill them, but let's go over it. So in the B column, B14 and B2 have been selected so far. And B14 comes from Jennifer Love's books, and it is read a book that's published before you were born. I was born in 1991, so that means I need to read a book that was published, and I was born in April 1991. So I need to read a book from before April 1991, which I have a couple classics on my shelves that I've been meaning to read, and I also just have some books that are, just older in nature that I want to read. I don't know what I'm thinking about. I don't know if he was always published in the 90s or before, but I was thinking about Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, or James Baldwin in general. I have some Beverly Jenkins I want to read, but I feel like she was mostly published in the 90s. Maybe we'll get away with a couple 80s titles from her. I'm looking over at the shelves. I do want to read Mansfield Park. I want to reread Wuthering Heights because I read it in high school, and I have this little mental project I've been doing of wanting to reread books I was assigned in high school that I thought were inappropriate to give to high schoolers, and not in the content wise of being inappropriate, but just in that my frontal cortex not fully formed. Why were we giving me that? Why? I read Jane Eyre as an adult, loved it so much, and so that's what sparked that. So maybe we'll do those. B2 comes from Reads with Kelsey, and her prompt was to read a Canadian author. Now, I have some Elsie Silver books on my TBR. I have some Bailey Hanna on my TBR. Both of those are Canadian authors who tend to write in what I affectionately call the yeehaw romance genre. I know I have some other Canadian authors, too, on my list, and so we'll see from there who we do with that. Let's see. N36 from Noteworthy Fiction is to read a classic in a favorite genre. And she means a literal classic, not what is classic to the genre. For example, I just said yeehaw romance. Beverly Jenkins is very classic there. Elsie Silver is now, I would think, considered a yeehaw romance classic author given her popularity. But she means a literal classic romance. So I would consider, say, Pride and Prejudice a classic romance. So we'll have to figure that out. I don't know if romance is going to be my thing, or if I'm going to go more mystery, maybe I'll read an Agatha Christie. I do love her, so we'll see. Let's see, G46 from Rescues and Reads is read out of your comfort zone. And it's funny that is hers, because that was very similar to what my prompt was as well. And yeah, so we'll have to see. I'm actually looking down at my kind of fantasy, mystery, horror, all of those are kind of shelved together. And I'm looking at Bury Your Gaze and I Was a Teenage Slasher. Both of those generally out of my comfort zone, so maybe those will get read this October. G53 from Keeping Calm with Books and Coffee. Hers was to read your favorite trope or buzzword. And I like how open that is because that gives me lots of leeway. I think about Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil with V.E. Schwab, Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake, Shield and Sparrows from Devney Perry. I do love a Dark Academia, so I could try Babel again. Maybe I'll finally get through, because I was enjoying it while I was reading it, but I was not in the mental headspace for it, so I had to put it down so I could give it its justice. One of my favorite buzzwords, specifically in fantasies, is oath, and I have Our Vicious Oaths by Annie Davenport sitting on my shelf right now, so all sorts of possibilities there. Let's move into the O's, because the O's is where I have almost all the prompts. All space but one have been selected, which is crazy. So we have O66, Gabby likes to read, said to either listen to an audiobook while you're doing a puzzle, or read a historical mystery. I don't really have the space to do a puzzle, so I think we would lean into the read a historical mystery. Don't know what I would pick for that. If you have suggestions, throw them down in the comments. O65 from Just Be Weird, she said to read a book with a fall-related word in the title. A fall-related word in the title. Let's see. Ooh, I have The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. And I know that doesn't necessarily seem like it has fall-related words, but I think when I think of birds I see in the fall, I feel like I think of the ravens. I don't know why, but I do. What else do I have that could be considered fall? In a literal sense, I just got sent a finished copy of A Pack for Autumn by Amelia Emerson. That is a polyamorous romance book, I believe. If not, it's at the very least Why Choose, but I'm hoping it's poly, because there's no point in reading a Why Choose if the swords don't cross, in my personal opinion. Ooh, I have Immortal Dark by Tigris Girma, and the word immortal to me screams fall. I think it's because I just think about like vampires and witches and bats and things like that. I also have Vampires of El Norte on my list of things to read this fall. Ooh, A Study in Drowning also on my list, and something about studying feels very fall-like to me, so I have a lot of options here. O71 from Lotta's Nook says, eat something spicy while reading because she likes spicy books. I love when it's like colder going to my local Thai food spot, and I always order chicken pad thai as like my go-to meal, but sometimes when it's cold I'll get it spicier than normal, so maybe I'll do that, because I'm one of those people who, I don't want to say I don't like spicy foods, because I definitely don't mind them. I feel like I eat outside of general American cuisine regularly enough to enjoy spice, but I'm not a person who likes spicy for the sake of spicy. For example, you will never catch me with a bag of hot Cheetos in my hand. It'll never happen. Regular Cheetos are great. I don't want hot Cheetos, because I feel like those are spicy for the sake of spice, and that's never what I want. I want spiciness to actually add to the flavor or enhance the flavor of the dish I'm eating. Hence my love of eating Thai food. Sometimes I dabble in Indian food, things like that. So maybe we'll go that direction. I love that that's so open and it's not tied to a particular book, which means what I might do is save that one for when I really don't know what to read and I just want to mood read. Like if I don't want to read something I've picked for one of these other prompts, I can really use that just to work myself out of a hole. And then the last one also goes with that. Brittany Loves Reading gave us a real gem. She said, read something with nostalgia vibes. And she specified it does not have to be a reread, although it can be a reread that gives you nostalgia vibes. Or it could be something where maybe the setting or a character induces some nostalgia for you. So I think about something like If It Makes You Happy by Julia Olivia. That is a romance set in New York in the 90s. It's giving Nora Ephron. So that could really work out for me. What else would give me nostalgia vibes? I am rereading the Playing for Keeps series by Becca Mack because Breathe With Me, the 5th and final book, comes out on October 28th. So maybe when I finally start Play With Me, which is the second book, that could be my nostalgia vibe pick. We'll see how things go, because I do need to read all 4 books before the 5th one comes out, because that is a... Why did I just forget the word? Tradition! That's a tradition I have with that series. Every time a new book in the series comes out, I reread the ones that came before it, because that series in particular is very big on its found family. Not so much in the first book, But books 2, 3, and 4 for sure, very big found family vibes. And so I just love reintroducing myself to the characters, picking up on little things that I didn't before, giggling and kicking my little feet. And I actually just had the audio for Breathe With Me come through the Libro ALC program, so that is on my phone right now, which means when I finally get there, maybe I'll listen to it, which is something I've never really done for her books. I've always physically read them, so we'll see. I'm so excited. So the next round of picks for TBR Harvest's bingo actually comes out tomorrow, I think. Leandra said she was going to release them on Fridays, and I guess I could just open the Discord and check because she put a little schedule in there because she is a gem of a human being. And I dearly love a schedule. I love to know when things are coming. Let's see, TBR Harvest 2025. One of the things I love about this readathon is she made the Discord optional. If you go to her video, which I will have linked in the description below of the announcement, which number one, what I love about TBR Harvest is that while it is an October themed, I say themed, it's a fall themed readathon that she specifically does in October, she gives us so much leeway. Like some people started in September because they were just so excited they couldn't wait. Some folks have already mentioned they're going to carry this into November and work their way. Like I saw some people saying like they really want to black out their bingo boards, meaning you read for every single prompt. And some people were even saying that they want to read a different book for every prompt, even though some books they chose could fit multiple. And I thought that was such a fun idea. So maybe I'll carry this through like all of fall until we actually hit the first day of winter. I don't know. But she did say that each week she was going to release the next prompts for BookTuber Harvest. So let me scroll to the top. Okay, yes. Friday, October 3rd, that's tomorrow, prompts 31 through 45 come out. So I'm excited for those. Maybe I'll pop on to reveal those, as specifically which ones hit my board, if any of them do. And then Friday the 10th, prompts 46 through 60 come out. And then the 17th, the final prompts of 61 through 75 come out. And I'm so excited for it. Depending on how this goes, I might do multiple bingo boards. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I really want to get back into the scheme of things with this. So I'm going to edit this real quick and get it up tonight, I think, because I don't have any plans and I have the space to do that. And then I am actively going to choose my first read and maybe start it this evening, if not tomorrow, because I'm listening to the audiobook of Ladies in Hating by Alexandra Vashti right now, and I'm having the best time. It is the first book I've read by her, and I will be going back and reading the rest of the series because I'm loving this so far. And there's something that's been so nice about rekindling my love of audiobooks. I've always loved them, but I go through these periods where I struggle to read them. And I don't know what it was about this week, but it really worked for my brain. I've been doing that. I've been working on a sweater. I finished a sleeve the other night while I was listening to that audio. And in fact, I need to start the second sleeve. So maybe I'll listen to that audio tonight. And then I will reserve my first TBR Harvest book for this weekend because there's something that's so nice for me about truly starting a readathon on a weekend. It just brings me a lot of joy. So I think we're going to do that. So let me know if this is your first time hearing about TBR Harvest. I would love to know. And if you plan to participate, sound off in the comments. Tell me what you're going to do. There's a fun board that has all these like pumpkins and cats on it that almost is reminiscent of like Candyland, but you can start wherever you want. She has one that you get a different prompt for every day of the month. And she recommended on that one that if you're like a mood reader, you could kind of do it however you want. So if it takes you 3 days to read, and then October 4th is the next available day for you, then you use that prompt to pick your next book and so on, and just do it as you finish rather than trying to read a book every day, because that would be really intense. But more power to you if you have the energy for that. Join the Discord if you haven't already, if Discord is your thing. If you've never used it before, real safe space to learn how to use it is a part of the readathon. And with that being said, I will see you all in another video very soon. Bye.